It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to Friday Travel and Cruise Industry News podcast here on a special time on this, the 26th day of January 2024. Travel day for me, as I will be jumping in the car here probably in the next hour or so and taking off for Orangeburg, South Carolina, where I'm staying tonight. And then tomorrow I go into Port Canaveral. And on Sunday, I'll be getting on the Epic for a Passion for Cruises USA Solos hosted cruise. Following that, the following Sunday, I jump in my car and drive down to Miami. And on Monday, get on the MSC Magnifica for a Chillie hosted cruise. Cruises with Chillie. So hopefully you're going to be getting a lot of content from me over the next little bit. Oh, good morning, Bonnie and Kenneth. Y'all are here with me early. I do appreciate that. Do have a couple of stories today. One's very sad for my friend John, amigo John up in Minnesota. Had a call from him yesterday afternoon as soon as this happened. But that is my lead story this morning. Canceled sailings for the Epic and the Getaway. Also today, AIDA cancels spring voyages. A cruise ship runs aground in New Zealand. 2 arrested from the Norwegian Joy. Their guests, not crew. And Explora 1 aces its first health inspection. And lots more here at 7:30 a.m., bright and early. Today, folks, is National Peanut Brittle Day. I like peanut brittle, but as I've gotten older, my teeth don't like peanut brittle. I stay as much as possible away from anything hard anymore. So, that kind of takes me out of peanut brittle. I do like the stuff, though. But anyway, have some peanut brittle today. If you're listening via the podcast, you're always welcome here. You can access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcast from. All the big hitters, all of them have it registered. Just search for travel and cruise industry news, and up pops the Fat Travel Guy. If you're listening via the podcast and ever want to jump over to the video feed to see clips or pictures or interviews on that day's show, there's always a link in the description of the podcast, so you can do just that. Also, folks, please hit that thumbs up button. That helps the channel out a lot. And also, if you haven't subscribed, please take this as my invitation to subscribe, as I am hoping to hit 10,000 subscribers by next Tuesday. We were actually at 5190 this morning, so we'll hit 5,200 probably today. So by the time I get on the Epic this weekend, I'll be over 5,200. So let's see. Joanne's with us. Emily's with us. Bob's with us. Good morning, Bob. John's Picks and Adventures. Good morning to you. So we got some new faces here, I guess, by going early today. Normally the show, if you are new, normally the show's at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'm doing this early today. Of course, it'll be up for the guys that aren't up this early. Maybe I ought to do the show this early. I don't know. I didn't mind, of course I had to start about an hour earlier than I normally would, but pretty comfortably got the show ready. So I don't know, maybe that'll be in the consideration part. But anyway, thanks for being with me, guys. Of course, travel day for me. Looking forward to it. I've been home for over a month now. I need to get on it. I need to get on a boat here quickly. All right, the top story today, folks, comes from Norwegian. This broke yesterday afternoon. It wasn't so much it broke as a news story as it broke because of the notifications going out to guests booked on these cruises. Because of ship redeployment, Norwegian has canceled sailings for the Norwegian Epic and the Norwegian Getaway. Both were scheduled in Europe later in 2024. Norwegian Epic is also being relocated early from the Mediterranean to Port Canaveral. While not official from NCL, it appears that because Norwegian Epic is now scheduled to begin sailing from Port Canaveral on October 30th, at least 3 of the ship's later Mediterranean cruises will likely need to be canceled. The October 17th to 29th voyage from Rome to Athens, the October 29th to November 10th sailing from Athens to Rome, and the November 10th to the 23rd cruise from Rome to Port Canaveral. Now, while this is not official, Amigo John up there in Crookston, Minnesota, my friend and partner, received a notification that his transatlantic on the Epic on November 10th was canceled. So pretty sure that this is going to be, it's a formality that it's not official yet. But anyway, John was, offered actually a rescheduled, possibly transatlantic on the Getaway, and he's not interested in that because he's an Epic fan. He loves the Epic. He'd rather be on the Epic than anything. So I'm sorry that John had to cancel out on the cruise with me last year because of health issues. This was going to be getting back on a ship. So I feel bad for John. Norwegian Getaway is now scheduled to begin sailing from Nolens. Of course, I might have to go to New Orleans just to get on it. I love New Orleans. You guys know that. I love rolling around New Orleans. It's terrific. Even though it's got some rough sidewalks and you have to be really careful, I can still cover New Orleans in my chair. Anyway, Getaway starts sailing on October 20th, offering Western Caribbean cruises. The ship will need to move from the Eastern Mediterranean to New Orleans, which will include, most likely, a transatlantic journey. Norwegian Cruise Line has not yet announced plans for the ship from September 29th through October 19th. It's possible that there could be a new transatlantic offered, or it's possible that she might go into dry dock. If that's the case, she'll probably deadhead from the dry dock to New Orleans without passengers. So things are still up in the air, but clearly, folks, if you're booked on either of those ships in that time period, watch out for the notifications. They're coming. So, why all this redeployment stuff? I'm assuming that it's because of the political unrest, geopolitical unrest, if you want to call it that. So the whole Red Sea area has been, they've canceled big chunks of that. You still got the issues going on up in Ukraine. I think, where the European business was going so well that all this other stuff now is cut it back, and they probably had too many ships over there. In the meantime, cruises from the States are going gangbusters. So they're pulling two ships back from Europe sooner than they had planned. That's just my take on it. All right, guys, I'll be back with a couple more stories after a quick break from one of our network sponsors. The next story today comes from AIDA. In response to escalating geopolitical tensions in the Red Sea, Carnival owned AIDA Cruises has canceled several voyages scheduled for the spring of this year. Prioritizing the safety of the guests and crew, the cruise line announced cancellation of trips aboard AIDA Bella, AIDA Blue, and AIDA Prima. The affected cruises include AIDA Bella's April 16th Dubai to Mallorca sailing, AIDA Blue's Mauritius to Corfu voyage of March the 5th, and Seychelles to Corfu on March the 12th, AIDA Prima's Globetrotter from Dubai to Hamburg on March 30th, and from Abu Dhabi to Hamburg on April the 7th, as well as the Dubai to Mallorca on April 5th and 6th. Owing to the extended duration of cruises along the African coastline, several individual voyages preceding and following the transit journeys have been called off. This change impacts AIDA Bella's scheduled sailings from April 16th to May 26th, AIDA Blue's voyages set between February 27th and March the 30th, and AIDA Prima's cruises planned prior to April 5th and after May the 7th. In recent months, the Red Sea, a vital maritime route connecting Mediterranean and the Indian Ocean, has been seeing a disturbing rise in tensions, primarily involving the Houthi rebels in Yemen. These escalated conflicts have led to attacks on commercial vessels, triggering a global alarm. This uncertainty has forced several cruise lines to reassess the Suez Canal transits. I always hate when the word reassess is used in the cruise industry because it's never brings good news. It's always reassessing to the negative to those of us that cruise and like to cruise a lot. So that's my feelings. All right, kind of a sad situation. Guests on board the Fjordland Navigator, a small sailing cruise ship operated by Real New Zealand, experienced a scare during their overnight trip as the vessel ran aground on Wednesday. The incident happened in Doubtful Sound, New Zealand, a fjord some 80 miles south of the popular Milford Sound. The incident, which occurred about 6:15 p.m. local time, resulted in the vessel sustaining a minor breach in its hull and taking on water. Never a good sign for a cruise ship. The vessel's captain managed to make a mayday call that alerted local emergency response crews, who quickly made it to the scene. Luckily, all 57 guests and 10 crew members on board were safely evacuated to the nearby town of Teanau without any major injuries. One minor injury was reported, promptly attended by medical personnel. The Fjordland Navigator was refloated about 8:30 on the night of January 24th and returned to its berth at Deep Cove, not far from where the vessel ran aground. The ship is now undergoing necessary repairs and an investigation by both the company that owns it, Real New Zealand, and by the New Zealand government are ongoing. Now, New Zealand has strict regulations, so they're all over this one already. So we'll see what happens. In the meantime, the ship is grounded for a while. Of course, got to plug the hole. Maybe they have good chewing gum over there. All right. Another story out of NCL. NCL got all the news today. Notice that? 2 passengers on board the Joy. I love the Joy. I'm sorry to hear about this one. 2 passengers are accused of transporting more than 100 bags of marijuana. Michael Quinsbury and Savannah Rose Minamy were allegedly in possession of 71.9 kilograms of marijuana combined during a transatlantic voyage scheduled to depart from Port Miami bound for Southampton, England on January the 11th. That's as per the criminal complaint filed in the Southern District of Florida. Law enforcement officials found 56 vacuum-packed sealed bags containing a green leafy substance in Quinsbury's luggage after a drug-sniffing dog indicated its presence. The substance, come on, tongue, subsequently tested positive for marijuana. According to an affidavit signed by the Department of Homeland Security Special Agent Joseph Aground, the passenger asserted that the marijuana was for personal use and cited possession of a medical marijuana card in California. 71 kilograms for personal use. Man, this guy's got to be stoned all the time. Initially encountered together in a passenger room, Quinsbury and Minamy claimed that they had met at a bar on the ship, with Minamy stating she was not acquainted with Queensberry before the encounter. She was subsequently allowed to continue her activities on board. However, following the discovery, law enforcement located Minamy at a bar on the ship and conducted a search of her luggage, revealing an additional 56 vacuum-sealed bags containing a substance that later tested positive for marijuana. Something tells me the story wasn't entirely true. And the last story today, folks, as far as news goes, Explora 1, the first in a series of new cruise ships built for MSC Group's luxury cruise brand Explora Journeys, has passed its first United States public health inspection with a perfect score. The inspection by the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention was conducted January 25th during a call in San Juan, Puerto Rico. So congratulations to the folks at MSC Group and Explora 1. All right. That wraps up the news portion of today's show. Let's go see if anybody's in the chat room had anything to say and if we've been sex bombed again. I mentioned Kenny, Bonnie, Joanne, Emily. Bonnie says no peanut brittle for me. Dentist appointment on Monday for my new crown. Very good. Thank you, Bob, for wishing safe journeys. There's Dennis interrupting my siesta. Sorry about that, Dennis. I told you I was going to screw you up today. Early works for me, Chillie. I remember the old days of early. Yeah. Me too, Bonnie. I might just be changing that. That would give me more time to do stuff. We'll taking that under advisement, Bonnie. Joanne says they leave on Monday on the Anthem. There's Gretchen. Early is good. Wow, everybody likes this. Oh, thank you, Bonnie, for the donation to the channel. She says, enjoy an adult beverage. You know I will. Thanks, Bonnie. Emily saying hello to everybody. Let's see, what else do we have here? Dennis says you still need to go to Willie Mae's Scotch House for their fried chicken lunch, not to ever be confused with Willie's Chicken quick serve chicken. Yeah, I didn't make it to Willie Mae's. I made it to the wrong Willie's. And it wasn't bad. But yes, the next time I'm in New Orleans, I am definitely going to Willie Mae's. So, let's see what we got here. Cruise clowns, take note. That is how you properly pronounce AIDA. It's not and never has been pronounced AIDA. Yeah, thank you, Dennis. See, I do something right occasionally. The cruise can live in an echo chamber, constantly repeating themselves. Yeah, well. Um, I remember years ago. I remember years ago, Chillie doing a show around 6 a.m. or 6:30. Being up now is reminding me of that. Uh, yeah, I kind of this is I'm having a nice response here at 7:30. Uh, I don't know. We'll see. And AIDA like the opera. That's correct. I remember those old days too. Good for the early birds. Giuseppe Verdi, one of my favorite composers. Pas, let me think. Passe a amour. Passe a amour. Where are you traveling to, Chillie? I will be in Orangeburg, South Carolina tonight. It's about 6 hours. That's about the, I don't do well anymore driving a whole lot more than that. And this is pretty close to halfway. 6.5 hours both days, and I'm there. So I go to Orangeburg, South Carolina tonight. Tomorrow night, I'm in Port Canaveral. Let's see, I'm actually in Cocoa Beach, is where I'm staying tomorrow. And then I get on the Epic, Norwegian Epic on Sunday. And it goes Eastern Caribbean. And then I get back and go to Miami, drive down to Miami, and get on MSC Magnifica. And it's just a Bahamas cruise. It's a shorty, 5-day. It was to prove to some people that you can book group cruises, hosted group cruises, without waiting for 5 months. I'm not mentioning any names on that one. Anyway, that's what I did, and I've got a nice little group. I mean, I only promoted it for a week, and I've got a nice little group going. It's not huge. It's not as big as the group going uh, on the Epic, but then the Epic was promoted for 6 weeks, and by the big number of people. Pete's channel with 70,000 and Passion for Cruises channel with 50,000. Yeah. So anyway, so it proved a point. Now, when I get back from this trip, I'm going to sit down and seriously look at doing a couple more because my year is awful right now because I counted on, a company coming through with a hosted cruise every month. And that hasn't happened. Emily seconds the thing, no peanut bro. Everybody, none of us can eat it anymore. Why do we even try? No worry, Chillie. Always pleased to be here. So excited for your next journey. Me too. I'm ready to go. Uh, I got too many problems and too many issues going on here. I need to get away. I'm much happier on a boat. Safe travels. Emily says, thank you. Thank you. Bonnie says, safe travels also. Dennis says, take. Oh, Pache. Pache. Pronunciation. Ciao. Centro. Gucci. Bucci. Pache. Okay. Thank you. Bonnie says she was waiting for you to tell me how to pronounce Pache. Yep. See, Bonnie, you know, I make mistakes. Dennis is right there to fix me. The one I wasn't sure about was Seychelles. So, Pache y amor, peace and love. Pache y amor. The finale from AIDA as she becomes entombed in the pyramid. That's awesome. I saw AIDA at Lincoln Center in New York. Yeah. I don't remember if I saw it. I saw AIDA years ago. It might have been at Lincoln Center. I don't know. I don't remember. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. I got a couple things to do here before I can get out of the house. So I'm in, it's pushing 8 o'clock now. I'm probably going to be 9 o'clock before I get out of here. So that'll get me, into Port Canaveral before rush hour. No, I'm into, where am I going? Orangeburg before rush hour. So should have a time to set up and maybe do a little broadcasting from there since I'm in a different hotel this time. So Bonnie says, have a great day, everyone. I'm heading to physical therapy soon. I'm sorry, Bonnie. I hope it goes well. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. And thank you, new guys, for joining us today. You're welcome here anytime. We do this, at least for now, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock, and that could possibly change. And of course, my schedule on board the ship is always up in the air. I try to keep it at 11 o'clock, but that can sometimes be altered by times in port and the like, especially if I get any luck into any excursions. So I gotta see on accessibility on excursions as soon as I get on board on Sunday. So there could be some ups and downs over the next week or so. All right, guys. You guys have a fantastic day and a wonderful weekend. And stay tuned to this channel. I'm going to be out and about and doing all kinds of stuff. So, and maybe there might be a visit to a zoo on the way home. That's not definite yet, but maybe. We'll see. All right, guys. Everybody have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend. I'll see you from on the road somewhere later today, even if it's just a live Facebook. Who knows what I'll end up doing. That's it for today. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. Have a great day, everybody. See you later.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, chilly chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.